What is a reading comprehension strategy and how is it different from a reading skill? That's what we're learning in this video. Hi everyone, I'm Leah Hall from Literacy Teachers, and I'm all about giving you the tools you need to inspire, motivate, and change how your students read and write for academic success. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so that you get notifications because I put out new videos each week. All right, so today we're talking about two very common terms in literacy instruction: reading comprehension skills and reading comprehension strategies. These are two terms that get used a lot, but did you know they have different meanings and get used for different purposes? So a lot of people don't know this. It's really important to clarify so that we can think about how you're crafting your instruction to support the development of each. What I want to do here is first give you a definition of a reading skill, and then give you a definition of comprehension strategy, and then give you an example of each, because there can be some interplay between the two. It's not 100% cut and dry, and a skill can morph into a strategy, right? So let's start with the definitions first. What do we mean when we say we're teaching reading skills? What is a skill? So a skill is an automated and automatic action. It's a process that you do without even thinking about it. We're not aware of what we're doing. We're just doing it. We have internalized it. We're very comfortable with doing it. We know it very well. And because of that, we don't have to devote a lot of cognitive, mental resources to thinking about what it is we're supposed to be doing. We just do it, right? Now, a strategy, on the other hand, is a deliberate action, okay? And we use strategies strategically. That's probably not the best way to put it, but we use them very deliberately and employ them really to help achieve a goal, or we use them when we have a problem, a hurdle that we need to get over, and we're thinking, how am I going to get past this issue? What's something I can do to get over this hump? All right, so a strategy is not automatic like a skill. With a strategy, we have to stop, recognize that something's going on here that's not quite working. We're having problems getting to our end goal, and then backing up and thinking, how can we solve this problem? What are some strategies? What are some things in our arsenal, in our toolbox that might help us get over this hump? So with this idea of what the definition of skill versus strategy is, let's think about what are some examples of how this looks in reading instruction. What's an example of a reading skill versus what's an example of a reading strategy? So the easiest way to understand a reading skill is decoding words. If you think about, somebody that has a well-developed vocabulary, has already, internalized the principles of phonics and phonemic awareness, and can read fluently, without having to, just read the words on the page, right? You've internalized what letters sound like, what it sounds like when you put letters together. You know how to make words. You know how to read all of that fluently without having to stop and think about it. Now, we've all run into students who don't have that as a strong skill, okay? And they read like this or worse, right? And it's very herky-jerky. They stop, they don't know a lot of words. They have to sound out a lot of words that you would expect them to know. They don't have that decoding down. They don't have fluency down, right? Those skills are missing from their arsenal. So they read in a much more, herky-jerky kind of a manner. But in general, that's one way, an example to think about. We're teaching kids phonics and phonemic awareness and decoding so that they can build up the skill of being able to read fluently without having to think about phonics and phonemic awareness and decoding. And when they do have to think about it, it's very limited, it's very strategic. So with that, let's get into thinking about what is a comprehension strategy. So comprehension strategy is going to come into play when you're reading a piece of text and all of a sudden you don't understand something. Something happens, right? It might be, I don't understand the last page that I just read. This sentence is particularly hard, all the way down to this is a big word and I don't know how to say it and I don't know what it means, okay? And when you run into this comprehension problem as a reader, you could skip over it, right? That's something you could do. But if you want to solve it and think about what does all this mean, right? How am I going to figure out resolve my comprehension problems? Then you have to reach into your arsenal and think, what are some strategies that I have that can help me or that I think might be able to help me here when I'm having this comprehension problem, all right? So if I'm reading a piece of text and I'm bumping along and everything's going pretty well, and all of a sudden I hit a sentence that's really long and it's dense, it's got some confusing words in it, I could employ a number of strategies here, right? One is I might go, whoa, what did I just read? I need to read that again. And having this metacognitive awareness that I need to back up and reread, all right, that is a comprehension strategy. So I can do that. And maybe I do that and go, that made sense. And now I'm moving on, okay? I'm back into the seamless fluidity of reading, all right? Maybe I reread and it sort of makes sense, but maybe there's some words in there I don't know. So I might say, well, let's sound it out. Let's ask somebody if they can tell me what this word means, how to pronounce it. Maybe look it up in a dictionary. So I might draw on any of those strategies to try to make sense of what I'm reading, okay? But the thing is that I'm really being strategic about trying to understand something in the text that I don't understand, that I have questions about, that I am confused about. And it could involve a number of things like rereading, sounding out, asking questions, looking up information to fill in background knowledge, clarifying details, any number of things. The difference here is it's not fluid, okay? It's not seamless. Now, that said, there can be a point where a strategy shifts into a skill. Now, what does that mean? So if you think about sounding out words, okay, what happens is if I'm reading a text and all of a sudden I get to a big word and I don't know it, I don't have to think too hard at this point in my life about how to sound out a word. For the most part, I can do it. I can go, oh, I didn't get that word, back up, sound it out real quick, move on. I don't even think about it. I just do it, okay? So when you get to this point where something like, if you see a word that you don't know, sound it out, see if that helps, when it just becomes seamless, then it's transitioned into becoming a skill that you have that you automatically use when you run into an issue with a word in a piece of text. So the main thing to take away from this is we want to teach students both reading skills and reading strategies. We want to build up their skills so that they have the ability to read in a very obviously in a fluent manner that's going to support their comprehension. But we also want to teach them strategies like rereading, asking questions, clarifying information, how to sound out words, etc., so that when they run into these comprehension problems, they have tools that they can draw on to help solve those problems or move them forward a little bit. All right. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all of my videos. And while you're here, please head down to the comments. What questions do you have about reading skills, reading strategies, the differences between the two, how to teach them, what to teach, etc.? Come on down there. Let's talk about it as we work to inspire, motivate, and change how our students read and write for academic success.